If you like storytime vibes, hit subscribe and let's dive in together.
People keep telling me they're sorry I lost my marriage, but they're wrong. I didn't lose a marriage. I lost an illusion, a carefully constructed lie wearing the face of the woman I loved. And the night she revealed her true self, I finally saw the truth I'd been blind to for years. I still remember the color of the room when it happened, a faint gold from the setting sun, warm enough that everything should have felt safe. But safety is an illusion too. I know that now. I had come home early, hoping to surprise my wife, Elena, with dinner. Instead, I found her pacing the living room like she was waiting for a verdict that only she understood. Her phone kept lighting up. She ignored me when I walked in. That was the first red flag. Not the most painful one. Just the first crack. "Are you okay?" I asked. She didn't answer. Didn't even glance at me. Her thumbs moved faster over the screen, almost shaking with urgency. Then she finally turned, and her expression, it wasn't Elena. It was someone colder, sharper, towering above me with a kind of arrogance she had never shown before. That was the second crack. "Marcus," she said, arms crossed, chin lifted, "you need to listen carefully." My stomach tightened. Some part of me, the part that still trusted her, begged the universe to let this be harmless. But then she inhaled, slowly, deliberately, savoring the moment. And the sentence came, the sentence that split the world in half. "Tonight, I'm meeting my ex. You can watch or get out of my way." My ears rang. The floor seemed to tilt. I waited for her to say she was joking, but her eyes held no humor, only boredom, impatience, a strange thrill I didn't understand. She even smirked, as if waiting for me to break. Shock hit first, then disbelief, then the nausea, that sickening realization that she wasn't bluffing. The life I thought I was living had already died long before this conversation. This moment was just the announcement. For a few seconds, I couldn't move. My mind was stuck somewhere between disbelief and the numb buzzing in my ears. Elena watched me with the kind of expectation someone has when they're waiting for a firework to explode. She wanted a reaction, fear, begging, rage, anything. But I just stood there, frozen in a silence that even I couldn't understand. She sighed loudly, as if bored, then lifted her phone again. "Maybe this will help you understand," she said. Before I could process her words, she unlocked her screen and held the phone up. Not toward herself, but toward me. The message at the top was from a name I'd never wanted to see. Adrian. And she didn't just show it. She read it aloud, her voice slow, intentional, every syllable sharpened to cut deeper. "I've been thinking about you all day," she recited. "I want tonight to feel like old times, the way only we know." She glanced up, checking my reaction, then kept reading, almost smiling now. "Wear something I used to take off you. I want to relive what we had." It felt like the air was sucked out of the room. My knees went weak. Something hot and cold ran through my spine, and my stomach twisted so violently I had to swallow down a wave of nausea. And Elena, my wife, watched me fall apart with an expression that hovered disturbingly close to satisfaction. The humiliation hit me first, then the shame, then anger, sharp, electric, but trapped behind my ribs with nowhere to go. She dropped her phone onto the couch dramatically. "Now you know," she said. "So, what are you going to do, Marcus?" I opened my mouth, but nothing came out. Not fury, not pleading, not even pain. Just silence. A silence so heavy it startled her this time. For the first time that night, her confidence flickered. She shifted her weight, glanced at her phone, then back at me, suddenly unsure. She had expected me to explode. She had prepared for the chaos, but she hadn't prepared for stillness. And that stillness, my stillness, was the moment she realized I wasn't the one losing control. She was. The silence between us thickened, stretching tight like a wire ready to snap. Elena shifted uneasily, her confidence draining faster than she expected. She crossed her arms again, but it wasn't the same defiant posture as before. It looked more like a shield now. Marcus, don't be dramatic, she said, her voice wobbling just slightly. It was just a message. It doesn't mean anything unless you make it something. I didn't respond, not because I didn't have words, but because none of them would change who she was now revealing herself to be. My mind wasn't spinning anymore. It wasn't even hurting. It was just cold, cold in a way that felt permanent. She stepped closer, trying to reclaim the control she thought she'd lost. Look, I just needed clarity, she insisted. People reconnect. It's normal. Couples go through things. You're overreacting. A bitter laugh rose in my chest, but it never left my mouth. I simply looked at her, really looked at her, and saw a stranger wearing Elena's skin. That must have scared her because she suddenly softened her tone. Marcus, hey, come on. She reached out to touch my arm. That was the moment. The small, sharp shift that changed everything. I stepped back, not aggressively, not angrily, just deliberately enough that her hand hung in the air, suspended in humiliation. Elena froze. Her face fell. This tiny motion was the first time all night she truly looked afraid. Why are you acting like this? She whispered, her voice cracking. I'm trying to fix it. Fix it. As if this was a broken chair. As if a few soft words could glue back the dignity she shattered. My silence weighed on her like a verdict. She opened her mouth again, but no words came out. Her breath hitched. For the first time, she was the one losing composure. I need a minute, I finally said, my voice calm in a way that frightened even me. I walked past her toward the bedroom, but I wasn't going there to calm down. I was going there to decide how this story would end. When I closed the bedroom door behind me, the silence felt different, heavy, but clean, like stepping into a room that the storm hadn't reached yet. I stood there for a moment, letting the coldness inside me settle, letting it become something steady instead of something sharp. Then I opened the closet. Not hers, ours, but even that word, ours, felt wrong now, like a lie I had memorized without meaning to. I pulled out a suitcase. The familiar sound of the zipper sliding open echoed through the room, oddly calm, almost peaceful, and with every inch it opened, something in my chest closed. This wasn't rage. This wasn't heartbreak. This was clarity. I began folding her clothes, slowly, neatly, the way I always did when we traveled. Except this time, there was no destination, just an ending. From outside the room, I heard her footsteps approach, then stop. Marcus? Her voice trembled. I didn't answer. The door creaked open. She stood there, eyes wide, mascara smudged, breath shallow. What? What are you doing? She whispered. I didn't look at her. I kept folding. Elena, I said finally, you're leaving tonight. She inhaled sharply. No. No, Marcus, please. You're not thinking straight. I've never thought clearer. She hurried toward me, grabbing my arm with desperation that would have broken me once. But not tonight. Marcus, I messed up, okay? I was stupid. I wanted attention. I wanted you to react. I didn't mean... Stop. I didn't raise my voice, but she stopped anyway. Her eyes darted to the half-filled suitcase. Panic bloomed across her face. You don't have to do this, she pleaded, voice cracking. We can fix it. I swear, we can fix it. I finally met her eyes, and I watched the last flicker of hope inside her collapse. No, I said quietly. You broke something that isn't yours to fix. The trembling in her lips, the shiver in her breath. It didn't reach me anymore. I pointed toward the doorway. Elena, pack the rest. You're not spending the night here. And the room, our room, exhaled the truth neither of us could run from. This wasn't a fight. This was the end. Elena didn't move at first. She just stood there, trembling, as if the floor beneath her feet had suddenly become unfamiliar terrain. Then the tears came, real ones this time. Not the strategic ones, not the manipulative ones. These were tears born from fear, from loss, from the realization that the person she thought she controlled had slipped out of her hands. "Marcus, please," she whispered, stepping toward me. "I can't lose you. I can change. I'll block him. I'll delete everything. I'll never talk to him again. You matter. You're my husband. You're the only thing that matters." Her words crashed over me like waves against a cliff, loud, desperate, but unable to move anything beneath the surface. "Elena," I said quietly, "if I mattered, none of this would have happened." She shook her head violently. No, it was a mistake. A stupid moment. I swear, I didn't mean any of it. Just tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this. You can't. The way her face crumpled at those two words would have destroyed me once, but not now. Something inside me was gone. Not dead, but resolved. She sank to her knees, sobbing into her hands. "Please, Marcus. I need you." A sharp knock at the door cut through her cries like a blade. Her head snapped up, our eyes met, and we both knew who it was. Outside, a man's voice called softly, "Elena, you ready?" The final blow. She froze completely. Horror, humiliation, disbelief all twisting across her face. She looked at me again, desperate for some miracle that could erase the last 5 minutes. But miracles belong to people who don't create their own disasters. Without a word, I walked past her, opened the front door just enough to meet Adrian's eyes. "She'll be out in a moment," I said calmly. "She's finishing her packing." Adrian swallowed, suddenly unsure. I shut the door gently, the soft click louder than any slam. Elena stared at me as if she'd just watched her world collapse. And maybe she had. "You didn't lose me tonight," I told her quietly. "You lost the version of me who tolerated this." Then I stepped aside, giving her space to leave, the last gift I would ever give her. She picked up her suitcase with shaking hands. Tears streamed down her face as she walked toward the door, each step echoing the truth neither of us could avoid. She didn't belong in my life anymore, and maybe she never had.